that. Okay, like, okay, what I'm trying to explain is this and that, and what I want you to take from it is this and that. Okay, like this. What else? Dynamic, active, but not nervous. Who's this? No. Guess what? No. Guess what? Does anybody know the figure? Might be somebody from within this company. Okay, so you didn't attend. Elad? Okay? Dynamic, active, not nervous. Not like, okay. So, what I'm trying to explain to you about Scala, or about Java, or about the behind the scenes of Rapport is, no, it's too scary, it's too nervous, it's too much. Okay? Leave the center of the stage. Don't be afraid not to stand over here. You can talk from there or from there, okay? You don't have to be stuck in the middle, but don't repeat annoying gestures, okay? Because the audience does not appreciate it. It's so annoying. I want to kill myself for doing that, okay?
It's noisy, also like this all the time.
So what? Doing? Yeah? Okay. So anything that could maybe annoy your audience, try to avoid. Okay? What else? Interact, surprise, diversify your aids. Okay? Show the PowerPoint, write or draw of a flip chart, the wall, or a board, a whiteboard. Try to diversify as much as possible. Call your participants by name. Okay? Earlier today, I delivered the same session. I was a guest in this company, in the Bursa, and I had 12 executives in the room. Okay? And 20 minutes after we started the session, I knew all of the names. I was so impressed. Okay? It keeps your audience, like the trust and the connection. Okay? The engagement, the much deeper, the much more meaningful. They try to remember the names and call your participants, attendees, by the names. Okay, create a flow. Your session must be fluent and must be led by a flow that people could follow, and you can do that by some sentences which connect between all kinds of the parts, the different parts of your session. I tell you something and then I say, which brings me to our next point, okay, and then I move on to the next point, or moving on to the next slide where you can see na, or here you can see that, okay, let's take a closer look, all kinds of phrases and sentences that will help you connect between the different parts of your presentation. Catchy phrases, and try to connect the audience through these phrases that I would like to point out to you, not in general, point out to you guys. I would like to point out, or as you all know, or the reason I want to show you this, or take a look at number 10. If there's one thing you should take away from this session, okay? So, okay, that is the part that I have to listen, because the presenter, whom I didn't listen to for the previous hour and a half, now they would like me to take something away from this session. So now I'm gonna listen. Okay? What else? Let's see. We spoke about it. Oh, sorry. And the feedback. Right. Ask for feedback and encourage your audience to ask questions. Why is it so important? I have stuff to deliver. I don't care about your feedback. I don't care about your questions. Why is it so important to encourage questions and feedback from the audience?
Improve yourself.
To what?
Improve.
Improve myself? Oh, so I need to get feedback from the audience to do it better the next time.
I guess so. If you see your audience falling asleep, something is wrong with them.
Okay, I agree.
To ensure
What else?
they understand what it is that you're presenting.
Why? During the session itself, not for next time, during the session itself.
And what they understood from what?
Great.
They will take more if they buy into it. Keep high tension. Tension should be high. That's what you speak.
Great,
This
great.
is the same issue as the quiz. I'm wondering if you're going to mention the way you talk, because your cadence is very, very steady. You also lengthen your words, your vowels, and pull and stretch your words a little. When you're talking about flow, when I go to these things.
That is a topic for another. Okay. Read
Figure
my
out what
book.
you're saying.
Get my book. Okay.
No.
There is, listen, about the feedback, why it is so important. So there is this story, okay, that it depends what your military service was about, okay. If you're a Golan soldier, then apparently you heard that story about pilots. And if you're from the Air Force, so you heard it about Golani. So I'm going to tell it about Golani anyway, and anybody who knows variations of the same story, so it is the same story, okay? So this military force, this a team of soldiers, they went for a stakeout, okay? So they're there for like 12 hours, they're tired, hungry, they want to go home. So heading back from the stakeout to the base, okay, so the sergeant talks to the officer at the headquarters, and he says, just finish the stakeout on our way back home. And then the officer over there, they didn't hear what the sergeant said. So they go, come again, come again. Sergeant thought that he has to go back to the stakeout. Okay? So what was wrong with that? What didn't both of them do?
Acknowledge the information first.
They didn't.
Verify.
Acknowledge
They didn't verify that the other side understood. Okay? So it is important to encourage your audience to provide feedback, because this is one of the major ways in which you would know that your audience is still with you. Okay? That you didn't lose them. Ask questions, give me feedback, talk to me, interact with me, okay? Don't leave me alone over here. Do you know the phenomena of the dashboard dog? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So if you stand in front of an audience that goes like this, you're in big trouble.
It depends. If they're from India, they go like
But they have to lift. So they're going to try
No, you just ruined the video.
I'm
Now
sorry.
we can't put this up on the website. Nobody can hear this. Come on. Nobody's
Okay, so beware from the dashboard dogs in your audience.
If they are
Okay?
Chinese,
Beware.
means that it's their culture.
What? Chinese?
Yeah, they're like, whatever you say.
anyway.
I
There
wouldn't
is not
know.
other, whatever you say, it's like,
About the Indians, I know, that is correct. About Chinese, I really don't know. I would take your word for it. So anyway, how do you recognize a floater? Okay? First of all, they will have a puzzled look. And then you know they're not real. Okay? The second maybe. Huh? It's after lunch, huh? Or if they have too tight or too loose body language, if you have somebody that sits like this, apparently they're not with you, or they sit like this. So maybe they're occupied with other things, okay? Try to feel your audience, try to, okay, make sure that they're not like gone. Okay. How do you guys feel about the following strategy of getting feedback? Are there any questions so far?
Very bad.
Very bad. Why? How come?
Because people will just, like, say like, it's fine, I have a question. But if you say, okay, can someone explain me that comment that I mentioned 5 minutes ago, you will realize that people understood or not. So, I mean, when I was a student, the teacher was like, do you understand? And,
Does anybody feel the same?
This is exactly like a yes/no answer question. It's a closed question. You can either choose to answer yes or no.
So what would you do
An
next?
open question, it's something to answer.
You can present it by, let's hear some questions.
Let's hear some questions. You think it's different from saying, are there any questions?
Because you like your, it's like a request to present it instead of asking a yes or no. Someone might hesitate and just, sit quiet.
Perhaps.
But I still think it's a good way to present it. But if you like to just go be quick about it.
Could put some readers in the crowd.
Some?
Readers in the
I
crowd.
actually think it's from the point of view of some people, I think the question is kind of irritating. Because if I don't get a question, and I'm like expected right now to create a question, I don't know, even though I understood everything. And it builds like some sort of anticipation from the presenter that there will be questions, even if there aren't.
But is it a specific expectation? No. It's an expectation that I make towards everybody
Yeah.
in the room. How about this one? Referring the question to a specific participant. Michal, what do you think? Why is it
Some
dangerous?
people may not like it.
I think you need to get a feeling whether it's the one that will be asking the question might feel uncomfortable with it. So like for
Don't ask for
example,
Florida then.
but
No, but that's
it's
the
also a matter of
point.
culture, I think.
And that's like embarrassing.
Might
I don't want to
not-
embarrass them.
Might be too direct.
Too direct.
Yeah,
But
Not appropriate.
it's a matter of
you can sense the
Not
feeling of-
appropriate, embarrassing.
Sorry, I think that you're right, but in the other way of the sidewalk, it's like this, you can sense your audience. It means that you will feel, you will know who understood that specific point or not. And this way it lets you not to ask the guy who didn't understand anything to what you said, and you will ask the guy who understood, so that maybe he can rephrase the way you explained it in a way that his colleagues that will understand, because he will have the same kind of words that they use in an everyday, use of the work and so on. So I like this one.
I can tell you that in most cultures, you said it's a cultural thing. In most cultures, it's too intrusive, it's too offensive, it's too direct. Okay, to ask somebody, let's say, Julie, that you have urgent stuff to do on your computer. Okay, you do have urgent stuff, and I appreciate it, I respect it. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I would go, Julie, what do you think?
yeah, but again, it's a matter of how you get a sense of your participant,
Yeah.
your attendees. Because if someone is engaged during all the session.
Oh, that is okay.
So it might be a tool for others to be more engaged or to be more to listen. Like if let's say I'm like here and you ask Alex, what do you feel about what we just talked about Maccabi Tel Aviv?
I think the bottom line is that the presenter needs to be very careful and to
Very
sense the audience.
sensitive.
And you need to know
Sensitive,
the
exactly.
one you are calling.
Right.
And there is some situation when you do not call someone personally, it means it's not appropriate. Like you don't speak with me directly in any kind of.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just to
no, if you have any
summarize.
question, no, it's very important in some cultures when I can hear what you, I can hear your presentation, I can get my stuff, but like we have a distance, means you are the presenter and I am the owner of the company and you are not asking me questions.
That's why you need to censor.
That's why you need to know who you're.
Everything that you said is acceptable. Everything makes sense. Let's summarize this point specifically, okay? It's the risks in doing so, in choosing the second method, is first, it is too intrusive, too offensive, too embarrassing for that person that you speak to. Second, when I turn to Dudi, not even by name, even with approaching Dudi, going to Dudi, I lose everybody else. Everybody else can do whatever. I lose them, okay? Because I'm focusing on Dudi right now. The third risk is that maybe Dudi wasn't paying attention, wasn't listening, and he's too embarrassed to admit it, so he will mislead everybody else with his answer. Okay, so that is.
Correct it. You are here to correct it.
Okay, so let's see what is the recommended way to initiate the feedback, okay, to get feedback. You start by asking everybody the question, okay, not referring it to a specific person. Ask everybody that question, ask your audience. Allow them to think. You cannot ask a question and then like after 1 minute lose patience. And, come on, you don't know the answer. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you. No. Give them some time to think. Then if you don't get an answer for your initial question, so rephrase it. Okay, maybe the second time that you ask that question using different words, maybe the audience will relate to that second time that you're asking the question and somebody will answer. Okay, so rephrase the question. If it wasn't answered, then get an answer from somebody. Provide positive feedback for the person that spoke, okay? Even if it's not correct, even if it's not precise, still, it takes, not everybody has the courage to speak in front of an audience, even if you are part of that audience, okay? People are too shy or too afraid to make a mistake or that somebody would make fun of them, so they did answer, they did reply. So I have to provide some kind of feedback, okay? Even if it's wrong. Interesting thought. You saw what I told you before, Dudi, when you said about that question, is there other questions? You said, okay, I would rephrase it. I would say, okay, let's hear some questions. I didn't say so wrong. You have no idea. No, I said perhaps.
But you thought it.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Okay. Interesting. Perhaps. Could be considered. No. And then you move on. You stress the answer. Okay, you try to rephrase the answer itself, and then you allow other people to answer. Okay, because more than one person would like to reply, to talk, to take part in that session. And then you summarize all the answers. That is a recommended way, okay, to initiate feedback within class. I know that you are losing patience, I feel you, but we have only like 10, 15 more minutes to go. Are you with me?
26.
No. I know how much content I have to deliver. I have only 15 more minutes, okay? Are you willing to bear with me? Great, thanks. Okay, so the summary part, we spoke about, if you remember, two strategies, main strategies, okay? The classic TTT and the alternative TTT. So the classic, in the summary part of it, you tell them what you told them. You remember? Okay? The beginning was, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, then I am telling you, and at the end, I will tell you what we talked about. That is the classic TTT. How do you do that? I just said, you summarize the session by repeating your main message, and you provide your audience with a clear call to action. But in this method, according to this method, the call to action is optional only, okay? It is not a must in this method, okay? I can deliver a session like I'm doing right now, and it won't have a call to action at the end, okay? Just I was giving you some information, you could do whatever with it. There is no a defined call to action over here. The second method, the alternative TTT, so at the end you tell your audience what they need to do with this conclusion, and over there, the call to action is part of the structure, is part of the method, okay? It is not optional over here. How do you do this? As we said, you summarize the session by repeating your conclusion that we started with, that we opened with, and then you provide a clear call to action, which is, by this method, a must. Okay, some closing sentences you might want to use in summary, or let's take a moment to recap. Let's review what we've just covered. I would like to conclude with or I'm inviting you all to do this and that. Don't finish with and. That's it. When you do that, when you talk for 2 hours, for 4 hours, or for 2 days, and then you put everything that you just delivered into, and that's it.
It's a closure.
No, you're paying no respect to yourself and to the audience. Right, you minimize or you, what's the verb you wanted to use? You minimize the importance, the meaning of everything that we've been doing here. Don't do that. That's it. Anybody of you people ever did that? Summarize
Only once.
a meeting or a session or a lecture by and that's it.
We are done.
So I think we're done.
We are done.
That's not the summary.
We're done. It's the same. It's the same. We're done. Or that's it. Don't do that. Don't stutter at the end. Okay. That's it. Don't. And don't use at the end. And so we spoke about that thing and so forth and so on. And when we got to the second part, so it was, let's set around this and that. So, and I'm going to leave you with, okay, that's it. I kind of mixed between point number 3 and 4 right now in my little demo. Okay, don't break your sentences, complete them. Okay, if it's important to you, you're saying, so it must be important to your audience. Don't break sentences. Okay, complete them.
And don't collect your pages and start closing your bed while you're summarizing.
What? As the presenter?
The presenter.
No.
Also the same.
I agree. Anybody ran into some bad closures as well that you want to share? I mean, that you attended a session or a lecture or a workshop and the presenter ended it like in the worst way ever? You got an example? Okay. So, let's recap what we just went through, okay? What we just did. We spoke about a way to present your session, your content, a way to stand in front of an audience. At the beginning, we spoke about the preparation that you have to do beforehand, okay? And we got to the conclusion that the deeper and more thorough your preparation would be, the better chances that the session would be better and effective for your audience. So we spoke about the preparation, then we spoke about two main strategies, two main structures of the session, the first TTT and the alternative TTT. Then we spoke about the building blocks of the session, introduction, body, and summary. We spoke about major techniques that you could use during your introduction. We spoke about some tips and tricks during the body, the major part of the lecture, of the session. And then we spoke about some things that you can do or sentences that you can use while summarizing your session. Questions, comments? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.